To all the Tory Lanez fans, hats off for a solid effort, man. I'm a Tory Lanez fan, but it's over, man. All right, Megan Thee Stallion has won. And I must say, hey, man, all right, I can't even hate the player. I got to hate the game, man. The justice system has made it easy to frame men. That's just a fact, okay? Megan Thee Stallion performance against Tory Lanez is probably the most brilliant performance ever since Carolyn Bryant. Carolyn Bryant did what she did to Emmett Till. She lived another 60 years after that. And when she died, white folks are still on Twitter right now saying Carolyn Bryant ain't do nothing wrong. She innocent. So Megan Thee Stallion, to be honest, there's not going to be any repercussions, any consequences. She got away with it completely. The California Appellate Court has apparently denied Tory Lanez's appeal.
Damn.
They have upheld a conviction in the Megan Thee Stallion shooting, telling Tory Lanez, listen, man, okay, you got to do these 10 years, buddy. You can't make your way out of it, okay? Let's read. So Tory Lanez and his supporters have long maintained his innocence, claiming there was sufficient proof that he was the shooter and that he was not the shooter and he received an unfair trial. But in the ruling, the appeals court said there was no reason to undo the verdict. Peterson contends the trial committed a number of errors. The appeals court wrote, "We find no prejudicial error and accordingly affirm Peterson's conviction." A spokeswoman for Lanez did not immediately return a request for comment on the ruling. Legal experts are questioning the competency of Tory Lanez's legal team. I think I even seen Tory Lanez's biggest hater, Megan Kunif, even said at some point she feels bad for Tory Lanez because reading like the arguments that were made by Tory Lanez's team, it was laughably bad. I'm not a legal expert. She is. I guess other people who are legal experts will review the appeal and you tell me if the arguments were bad. But what I would say, though, when reading this particular appeal, it wasn't as explosive as I thought. So I particularly thought, oh, they'll be addressing everything. Not quite, all right? Tory Lanez brought up a couple of errors, and a lot of them was pretty, like, minute. It wasn't like, yo, Your Honor, Kelsey did this shooting. No, it wasn't that, right? It was Tory Lanez kind of bringing up like certain things. Like, for example, Tory Lanez said, hey, yo, they showed a picture of me with my shirt off in court. And like with my shirt off, I got a big gun as a tattoo on my chest. Well, them doing that, like, created prejudice for the jury, right?
That's weak as shit. It's weak and also a dumb tattoo to have. There you go. Once again, bitten the ass by the tattoos. Why don't you get some on your face? So when a nigga get tattoos on his face, you don't plan on doing nothing else? You like, F a job, F, my future, all that stuff right on my face? I feel you. All right.
It created an image of me that's not fair. Y'all got to overturn this because, like, that's wrong. I didn't get a fair shot in court. And the judges says, no, buddy, no, that's not how, no, no, Tory. In any event, the record does not support Tory Lanez's contention that Exhibit 18, which, by the way, was a picture of Tory Lanez after being arrested, right? So Tory Lanez, got arrested. They took, a photo of Tory Lanez and Kelsey. And I don't think we've seen a picture of Megan, but we've seen a picture of Kelsey and Tory Lanez. And they showed that picture in court with Tory Lanez's shirt off. So they says Exhibit 18, which is that, injected racial bias into the proceedings. They didn't see no evidence of racial bias being injected into the proceedings when Exhibit 18 was displayed. The prosecution did not offer the photograph as evidence of any alleged gang affiliation. There was no gang allegations in this case, and no one ever suggested that Tory Lanez had any gang ties. The prosecution offered Exhibit 18 and Exhibit 19 and 20, and the court admitted them into evidence solely to show the identity of the individuals officers swabbed for gunshot residue at the police station. The record does not reflect whether Tory Lanez was wearing a shirt when police stopped his vehicle. Megan testified that they just emerged from the swimming pool. She was wearing a bikini and Harris was in a swimming suit too. And the reason why they included that is to show that they didn't tell Tory Lanez to take off his shirt. He didn't have a shirt when he was in the car because he just came from swimming. Tory would also say that because the judge said that if Tory Lanez take the stand, the prosecutors will be able to omit music lyrics of his into evidence, that steered him away from testifying. So hence, he believes his rights were violated because he didn't testify and defend himself because of the threat the judge made. But when they read through the court transcripts, not Supreme Court, but the California Appellate Court says, the judge said that if Tory Lanez take the stand, because the prosecutors were trying to admit lyrics into court, like I believe like songs where Tory Lanez was like chopping up horse meat, like Megan Thee Stallion claims that was Tory Lanez dissing her, but who knows, right? But the judge actually said, listen, you can admit it, but if Tory Lanez take the stand,
he got a song chopping up horse meat. That's a very odd sentence.
Then we will review it again, right? If he take the stand and you want to submit more things to ask him about, then we would review it on a case-by-case basis. And the appellate court don't believe that was enough or like that was an error or like that was egregious to where Tory Lanez didn't get a fair trial. The judges from the appellate court will actually say that Tory Lanez mischaracterized the entire record of what the judge actually said. So the record shows, Tory Lanez asserts the jury did not hear Tory Lanez's account regarding the night in question because the court ruled that if he testified, prosecutors could introduce his music video and rap lyrics during cross-examination. The judges will say Peterson mischaracterizes the entire record. Midway through the defense case, the prosecutors told the court he was asking to inquire about prior acts of violence. If Peterson testified to rebut the character evidence put on by the defense, the court replied, well, I think the state of the evidence as it is now, I would not allow that. Of course, I don't know what he would say if he testifies. It may become relevant depending on what he were to say, but at this point, I would exclude that. They would also address DNA evidence. So, for example, they will say, look, the DNA testing of the Luger revealed a profile of at least 4 people. They will say that Tory Lanez was not excluded, nor was he included. His contribution was inconclusive.
What the hell kind of test is that? You're not excluded nor included? You wasn't excluded nor included when you walked in the room.
Of the magazine also revealed a profile of at least 4 people. Peterson was not one of them. No usable fingerprints were found on the gun or the magazine. I've always had a hard time believing that if Tory Lanez shot that gun, his DNA wouldn't be anywhere on the magazine and his DNA would be inconclusive on the actual gun itself. I don't know, bro. If he touched that gun, because they didn't find no gloves on Tory. So if Tory Lanez touched that gun and bust 5 times at Megan Thee Stallion, I don't feel like there will be inconclusiveness on the actual gun itself. And I don't think he will be excluded from having his DNA on the magazine, right? But according to the appellate court, that was not enough. That because it was inconclusive, they couldn't exclude him completely. So hence, they can't.
Everything is inconclusive. Inconclusive. That's crazy.
Overturn no possession or gun charge. Okay. Now, here's what I would say, man, regarding this stuff, man. Listen, all right. The appellate court affirmed their decision. Tory Lanez and his legal battle is now an uphill climb.
Right.
Megan Thee Stallion defenders now have all the ammunition they really need. I mean, the appellate court denied the appeal. So all the evidence that Tory Lanez and the state representatives were releasing in favor of Tory Lanez, where's that evidence at now when he went to appellate court and had it denied, okay? Now, does this really change the battle of public perception? I don't think so, man. I feel like at this point in time, if you believe Tory Lanez, you believe Tory Lanez. If you don't believe him, you don't believe him. I don't feel like this is going to change anybody's mind, to be honest.
They affirm his conviction, and they're refusing to let him out. He's going to have to serve his full 10 years, and after that, I assume he'll be deported because he's not American.
Damn.
I don't think anybody owes Megan an apology.
And they're going to send him back to Canada. And they sending him back to the 6 of the cold. It's going to be him and Drake up there all alone.
Apology for what?
No, there's some good people in Canada. Shout out to Canada, to Canadians. What's up, y'all?
Because just because the sentence went through, that means, how does that change the dynamic of the case?
No, people feel like they thought it was a lie and this and that. So him appealing and the whole thing online he was paying bloggers and to try to spin the narrative in his favor, and it didn't work. So now they're saying, does the public, the people that, doubted her or whatever, or spoke ill about her during the case, do they owe her an apology? I don't think anybody will go back on it. Most people hate women in general.
Okay, Tim.
Most people hate women in general? Is that including women? Because there are more women than men. period. So to say most people hate women, that's a bold statement.
Knowing me, what do you think my initial reaction when this happened? If you had to guess, like,
That's the kind of statement that I could tell me and her won't get along.
what do you? Whose side you think I was on? If you had to guess.
I would assume I would want to say the girl, but I think
Yeah, I was on the
okay.
girl's side.
Yeah.
And then I felt really stupid within a matter of weeks.
Why though?
Are those boots or shiny legs?
Girl's side.
Yeah.
And then I felt really stupid within a matter of weeks.
Why though?
Because like all the evidence that was coming out kind of showed that she was
still think her
capping. Like,
Y'all know my stance. I think Megan Thee Stallion is a liar. But we do have to be fair here at some point. If Megan Thee Stallion made allegations against Tory Lanez, and they went to court, and Tory Lanez was found guilty in a court of law, and then he went to an appellate court, and the appellate court affirmed that guilty verdict and affirmed that decision by the judge.
I don't know if she a liar, but on the video she was hopping with some glass in her foot.
What's that?
Do you think we can go to jail?
I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I don't
I
think.
really cannot go to jail.
Okay.
I cannot have that on my image.
Okay. So how did that happen to you?
But
Glass? Where?
where we were coming from,
What happened after that? I don't know where the gun went or who had it or what.
At what point do we say, okay, we might not like it, but hey, we got, but as Americans, we got to have some faith in the justice system, all right? Because I'll be real, and the reason why I have to be real here, and if let's just say a friend of mine, okay? If a friend of mine went to court and got found not guilty in court, and then the police did something and tried to like overturn it and bring him back to court, and then that got shut down and his not guilty verdict was affirmed, if I went on the internet and somebody is calling my friend guilty, it's up, it's smoke. It's smoke. At some point, we have to find where is the meter, where are we taking this at? What would be the bar? Because is the bar right now, there's nothing you can hear or see to prove that Tory Lanez is guilty outside of the footage of him shooting her? Or are you saying there's a bar that Megan Thee Stallion and the prosecutors and the justice system, there's a bar that they will have to meet to convince me, and they just haven't met that bar yet? Then I'll ask, what's the bar? Comment that below.
And did it while she got immunity.
yeah, like
Right.
that's what I mean, like.
But everybody, that's a lot of people's take is that the friend did it. But if
I think
that's
she
the
did it.
case, why the poor person, the person with the least money, is getting to walk away clean? If I was Tory Lanez, I would be doing everything in my power to get this bitch in jail.
She
'cause
got
it's not
immunity.
me.
You got
Immunity.
tried.
You have to aim at
And he-
somebody else.
You know, and
She
you got to
signed
think
with
about it too.
Roc Nation.
You know,
No, it's not. She's not. The friend is not.
Oh, the
Not a
friend.
friend.
That's what I'm saying. The friend
But
ain't
it's-
nobody.
Once you sign immunity, once you get immunity, it doesn't matter. They can't convict her.
The thing about Tory too, I think Tory's trying to uphold his gangster image, so he don't want to come out looking like a rat.
I don't know if Tory ever had a gangster image. Y'all seen him fight?
I mean, you
Travis
didn't see him
Scott?
trying to get
He
down
could
with
tell
Travis
his
Scott.
attorney-
Yeah, like
he could
Travis
tell his
Scott.
attorney this bitch did it, and you could form a case to a nigga.
But then think about this too, though.
I don't
'Cause
think
I
so over a
personally don't
girl.
think that he shot it. I think that old girl had the gun in her hand, and he probably ran up and was trying to stop it, and then the gun went off.
Oh, that's an interesting theory.
Whatever the
That's
case.
what I think happened. I think she got mad and was like, "Oh, well, I'll shoot you!" Woo, woo, woo. And he's like, "Hold on!" Ran up on her, tried to grab the gun, and the gun went off. That's what I personally think.
And
what
they never
happened.
said Tory Lanez fingerprints was on the gun.
Yeah.
That's
what killed me,
why.
like,
Yeah.
How you shoot somebody with your fingerprint?
And if she got her hands on the gun and he got her hands on her hand,
And did they test his hands like for, like gunpowder or whatever the hell they do, checking people's hands?
there will be no fingerprint.
Listen, if
As soon as
I,
they
know
said
what that
that
was. Hard
said
for
dance
Megan.
bitch and shot at the ground, I stopped believing.
That hell yeah, I didn't
Stop
believe that,
believing.
bro.
What the fuck is this? Nigga, super bad? Like, what is this? A
these are all people
1970
that are
movie?
drunk and on drugs, though.
I don't
and
believe
she
it.
walked away a week later doing a
That bitch
show.
was twerking.
So-
a week later.
But they
Facts.
posted like surgery on her foot and stuff like that.
And we
Surgery
also
takes a
know
minute
that
to
she
recover
gets
from,
super
though.
drunk. Like that's what they came out.
I'm not discounting
Yeah,
that.
no.
Count her toes.
Everybody was drunk. I would say
Yeah.
everybody was drunk. Everybody was probably high as well.
And, it
And
sounded like she
things
got mad
occurred.
at
I've
him.
seen wounds from a bullet in feet, and they didn't look like her.
No, they said
Count them toes.